Hello, Shiftei. Welcome back to our beautiful Beit Knesset. Being that we will not be able to daven here this Shabbat, I thought it would be special to share with you some words of Torah from our beautiful Beit Knesset. You can see the Aron behind us. Please God, we'll be back here soon. I want to share with you an idea about Parashat Toldot. Toldot is about vision, perception, blindness. We know that Yitzchak is blind. V'techiyana einei Yitzchak. But blindness in the Torah is not just a physical deformity. Blindness could also be a spiritual or mental state. In fact, many of us are blinded by prior experiences, by prejudices, by things that we always have assumed to be true. And so we see the world through that particular lens or that perspective. Now let's talk about a few fascinating examples of blindness in this parasha. When Yitzchak is getting old, he says to Esav, go and tatzud tzayid, go and catch for me some meat, and ba'avur tevarechecha nafshi, so that I can bless you. Now the question is, why does Yitzchak love Esav? Why does he choose Esav? And Rashi tells us, what is the cause of Yitzchak's blindness? The cause of his blindness was that when he was lying on the altar during Akedat Yitzchak, the malachim were weeping up in heaven. And some of the dema'ot fell into Esav, to Yitzchak's eyes, and caused him to have some blindness. What is the meaning of this midrash? I think it's as follows. That Yitzchak saw Avraham wield a knife against him and attempt to slaughter him at the Akedah. And he said, I'm never going to have my child experience this same experience. And that's why he loves Esav unconditionally. This is an example of Yitzchak seeing his own child relationship based on his prior experiences. However, it's possible that Yitzchak has another reason for loving Esav, and this Rav Yehuda Herzl Henkin explains to us in his Shut B'nei Banim that it's possible that Yitzchak saw in Esav something that he didn't have. Yitzchak was a weaker character. He was less strong. And he had to stand up to Avimelech. This was challenging for him. And he saw in Esav the qualities of force and strength. Esav was tough. And he wanted those qualities. So he loved Esav because the thing that he was lacking in himself, the chisaron that he saw in himself. Another example of blindness is Rivka. We're told at the end of the parasha that Yitzchak and Rivka are distressed that Esav has chosen to marry women from the Chitim, the Hittite tribes, who are not Jewish, of course. And it says, V'tiyena morat ruach liYitzchak v'Rivka. And the Midrash asks, why was Yitzchak more distressed than Rivka? His name is mentioned first, after all. And the Midrash explains that she had been desensitized. She had been desensitized to avodah zarah and idolatry because she grew up with it. And it didn't faze her. It was something that she was used to, whereas Yitzchak had a certain sensitivity to these things because he grew up in the home of Avraham and Sarah. We see from all of these examples, from Rivka, Yitzchak, that prior experiences can blind us. They can shape our experiences, shape our perspective of events, but also blind us. Sometimes we don't see things objectively because we are trained or socialized to see things in a particular way. If you're wearing yellow glasses, sunglasses, you'll see everything yellow. And if you're wearing clear glasses, you might see things a little bit differently. And so it's so important we learn in this parasha that we need to reassess the perspective, the lens themselves through which we see the world. We don't always see the world as objectively as we'd like to. This is especially true in politics. Very often we see the world, we interpret reality through the political party that we are associated with. And this prevents us from seeing the truth, from thinking critically, from analyzing each fact and each event through an objective lens. So Rabotai, the lesson from this parasha is that we have to always reassess how we view what we view. We have to reassess our perspective to make sure that we're not blinded by past experiences, to make sure that we are seeing things as objectively as possible. This is true with regards to our children. It's true with regards to all other relationships. It's true in terms of world events. So let us do that work of assessing our perspective based on the stories of Rivka and Yitzchak. Wishing you Shabbat Shalom.